Shalom, this is a beat back with part 2 of the edification, adulterer versus adulteress. All right. I want to thank all 210 of my subscribers. I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits. And I want to wish that all of my subscribers and your loved ones are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. This is part 2 of adulterer versus adulteress. And what I forgot was I left out some scripture because the video part 1 was getting a little too lengthy. And today I'm going to get to the point because I have to make a run. We're going to start with James 4:4. This Facebook profile of this adulteress says, "Hey, handsome men." It says no hookups. She's 34 years old. "Hey, handsome men." All right, there goes your high, Salakia. There goes your high. And then it says, "I'm going to be completely transparent. If this isn't for you, then keep it moving. LOL." And she's laughing at the insinuation that a man can't accept her for being pregnant and for her being an adulteress. It says currently pregnant. This is the buy, right? This is the high. Hey, handsome men. This is the buy, because she's going to leave. The adulteress is going to leave every lover once she gets pregnant. Okay. I'm going to start off with James 4:4 here. All right. It says, "Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?" So the free spirit that this adulteress and all these so-called Black, Latino, Native American females over here behind enemy lines here in America, they like to exercise their free spirit with their sexuality, but the Most High God says, "Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High God?" All right, Yahweh. It says, "Whosoever therefore would be a friend of the world is the enemy of Yahweh the power." All right. So again, these Western females, they love breaking up families and running off with the children of the men. Okay. That's the ways of an adulteress. Okay. And she says, please have a sense of humor on this profile. So again, she wants a man that finds it funny when he can't see his child because she's keeping his child from her. All right. I'm going to go to another script. It's 1 Corinthians 7:39. Okay. 1 Corinthians 7:39. All right. 1 Corinthians 7:39. Let me see. Oh, Salakia. I'm in 2 Corinthians. Salakia. Where am I? There is no 30. Hold up. Salakia. Salakia. Let me see 1 Corinthians 7. 1 Corinthians 7. Give me 1 second. Lucky, that's not the verse I'm looking for. I'm looking looking for Romans 7 and 3. Go to Romans. This is Romans. What is that? Yeah, Romans 7 and 3. Salakia. Romans 7 and 3. It says here, I'm gonna start at 1. Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law has dominion over a man as long as he liveth. All right? So the law has dominion over the Israelite men, women, and children as long as we liveth. All right? Verse 2. For the woman which has an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. All right? As long as these females have lovers or previous lovers that are still alive, then those previous lovers are considered husbands. But these adulterous females over here behind enemy lines here in America, they will have sex with men and don't consider sex marriage, okay? Because they're exercising their drunkenness, all right? Free spirit. It says, so long as he liveth, but if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of the husband. So these females cannot find another lover or the next lover until the previous lover is deceased. And they refuse to obey this portion of the law that holds their sexuality accountable. Okay? It says here, 3. So then if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, which is if her previous lover is still alive and she finds another lover in a man or a woman, but we're talking about a man, she shall be called an adulteress. An adulteress. All right, so let's get this straight. An adulteress, I said this in one of my previous videos, an adulteress is a wife or a woman who does not consider sex marriage, and she refuses to obey the portion of the law that says that if she has a previous lover that is still alive, she cannot find a next lover until her previous lover is deceased. They refuse to obey that, all right? Now it says, but if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, talking about her previous lover, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. Okay, so she can move on to her next lover once her previous lover is deceased. Okay, it says here, wherefore, my brethren, ye also are become dead to the law by the body of Christ, that ye should be married to another, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto Yahweh the power. So he's saying that we should be have a relationship with Christ. Okay, it says, let's see. Okay, let's go to another verse. I'm gonna go to, let me see, that's Romans. I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy 24. All right, Deuteronomy 24 real quick, and I gotta get out of here. Deuteronomy 24. Deuteronomy 24. This is Deuteronomy 24, verse 1. It says, when a man have taken a wife and married her, all right, married her, which is these females over here don't consider themselves wives and they don't consider sex marriage, so they refuse to consider themselves wives and they refuse to consider sex as marriage, so they're adulterous, okay? It says when a man have taken a wife, because she has to be obedient to the law to even consider herself a wife, right? Okay, so let's get this straight. The man can't force a woman to be a wife, okay? It says, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes. If a woman becomes a man's wife and she finds no favor in his eyes, the man that she's having sex with, because he have found some uncleanness in her, something about her that he finds off or unrighteous. It it says, then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. Okay, so has to be a divorce. The females are being adulterous, considered them. The females' ways are adulterous ways because there is no marriage and there is no divorce being made here. She's just taking children and from men and moving as a sexual adulteress. Okay, so it says, and if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and giveth in her hand and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband, talking about the next lover, dies, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. Okay? These females who like to get pregnant, move on to more lovers, and then try to reach back to that first lover that she got pregnant by, that first man should not accept her as his wife again once she committed adultery, once she was divorced. Okay, it says, after that she is defiled. She's defiled after she has all these lovers. She can't come back. For that is abomination before the Lord Yahweh the power. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin. So do not accept these adulteress. Only the simps are making it easy for these females to be adulterous because they don't have the men and the females do not have a righteous understanding. Okay? The scripture is righteous. This is not Christianity. The Bible is not a universal book. This is not for everybody. It's for the elect, the men of the Lord. All right? Tawada Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? It says this. 5. When a man have taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, so he can institute the values of his God in his household upon his wife and his institution of marriage, and shall cheer up his wife which he have taken. Okay, cheer her up. All right. That means groom her, all right? No man shall take the neither or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge. All right, so that's enough on that. But again, the man can have multiple women. Okay, let me see if I can find that because I just had that written down. The man can have multiple wives. And it's not he's not considered it's not considered adultery unless that man that's married has sex with another married man's wife. All right, let me see if I can find this real quick. 1 Corinthians 7. Trying to find it. Now the here behind enemy lines, these females are not going to obey that. All right, let me see. Let me see how favor. Let me see that. What is that? 7 and 3. Body represents. I'm gonna have to get going, but I think. Let me see. Hold on, Salakia. Change 1 Corinthians 7. I'm gonna have to find that scripture, and I'm gonna have to. But if thou marry has sin, and if a virgin marry, will not sin. See, it says here, art thou? Let me see. It's 27. Let me see. 27, are thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Are thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. And if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. Let me see, I'm trying to find it. Let me see. It says here, and the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Okay? Let her not leave him. So the woman that is not of the hopeful elect, but if a man is already married to a woman that does not obey or believe she's an Israelite woman, then again, that's not, then let her not leave him. So if she's good, then let her stay. Okay, so it says, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. Okay, let me see, I think I'm right there. Let me see. It's 3 and 9. Defraud you not one another except with the consent for a time. Permissions. But I speak this by permissions, not of commandments. So here we go. Let me see if I can read this real quick before I go. Let the husband, let's see. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me. This is chapter 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, nevertheless to avoid fornication. All right? Let every man have his own wife. Let every woman have her own husband. Okay, and these adulterers, they're not considering themselves wives, and they don't consider sex marriage. They're adulterous because they can't obey long term. All right. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife have not power of her own body. See that? The wife does not have power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, okay? Also the husband have not power over his own body, but the wife, okay? It's just saying that they're equal under the law, okay? Defraud you not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer. So don't defile yourselves with one another. Don't have sex with one another. This is the courtship, okay? Ye may not give yourselves to fasting and prayer. You may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinence. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man have his proper gift of God. So this is the disciple wishing that every man did not have a wife, but there are men that desire marriage. Okay, that's what he's saying. It says, I say therefore, Salakia, after one manner. It says, for I would that every man were even as I myself, but every man have his proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. Okay, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, which he's not married. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn, okay? Better to marry than to burn. Now these single mothers and this whole putting women first and putting mothers first and all that, women want to be mothers first and all that independent stuff. Hey, it says it is better to be married than to burn, okay? Because the Most High God he don't really have nothing to do with those independent single women. It says 10, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. Okay. 15, but if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God have called us to peace. All right, so again, this is the ways of the adulteress. All right, I wanted to get into the adulteress because the Most High values marriage. He does not consider these independent, single, mother first females. All right, he's not with them. Now they'll say that they believe in God, but they believe in Jesus, which is a damn statue. All right, made from the hands of the Edomites, who practice free will and allow females to break up families and to have children out of wedlock. So again, this is part 2 of the adulterer and adulteress. All right, A married man is allowed, a married man of the Lord, an Israelite man, is allowed to have multiple women, whether they're wives or concubines. But these independent females that are breaking up families, that's not lawful. Nothing about the Most High God of Israel is going to allow these females to get pregnant, run off with a man's child or children, and continue to find new lovers and continue to perpetuate a single lifestyle, an unmarried lifestyle, but having multiple children and multiple lovers. That's just an adulteress. All right. So hopefully somebody been edified. This one was short because I just want to do a part 2. I want to thank all 210 of my subscribers, and I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits, and I want to wish that all of my subscribers, you and your loved ones, are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us. Here behind enemy lines, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment, share the video. Shalom.